All right. So now we are going to start with the if the enemies can see the player or not. So we're just jumping back to our game, and we see that there are a lot of units. For this test, I need only a few of them because if there are multiples, I will get confused with what's happening. So I'm just going to delete all of them except one. Make sure that the one is looking towards us, and I think that's the right way. Okay. All right. I'll also make sure that it is not looking directly towards us. It's a bit to the side, and I'll tell you why. Because currently we're making if the enemies can see us. So I am not sure of how Assassin's Creed do it or Hitman does it or any other games for that matter. Um, but I know a very simple, cheap trick that I personally use. Uh, Most welcome if you want to copy it, but I'm not sure if you want to learn of how the big studios do it. You can do more research on it. I would suggest you do that. I just start out with a cone. Generally, I try to use a custom mesh, but you can use a cone for now. And make sure it is big enough. So from my idea, the like bigger studios kind of do a active line tracing, path tracing, but I think it may be a bit too uh, powerful, maybe takes too much computation. I That's my opinion. I'm not sure, however. So we can just compile that one, and we'll make a new material and make it partially visible, like translucent. We'll say translucent matte, and make sure that this is not opaque but translucent. So we will click three, like press three and click, and make a suitable like a color for translucency. And click one, sorry, press one and click. You will get a scalar value, and make sure you have it something like 0. 0.5, 0.35, something like that, lower end. You can save it, and you can put it on your like on your player on the static mesh code. So you can see that we can kind of show what's the visibility like. All right. So select the cone, and I'm going to make sure that it is overlap all. And here we are going to use the overlap functionality once more. Begin overlap, and we will ensure that we check get overlapping actors for the cone. And here we can say for our player, it was TLA, right? TLA player VP. If we get something, check it is valid. Then we'll just say uh, player from player saw player player spotted. I don't know. That's okay. Player spotted is good. So here we go. Player spotted. Player spotted. Player spotted. All right. So here we can say at least the player is spotted, and then we can create the functionality which goes around it saying that if you saw the player, then do this or do that or so on. So again, there are multiple ways of doing this. We can add a behavioral tree, we can add a tick, and which can do all of the other things. um, I generally prefer some timed events. um, so that is what I'm going to do. I will say set timer by event. It will be a quick one, and it will also be a looping one, and also uh, we will save the timer handle as a variable. Sorry, not reroute. One second. So if we see the player, all right. So if we see the player, we need some kind of a waiting time period. So yeah, I'll just promote this to variable player spotted underscore timer handle. Uh, Vision. Yeah, I'll categorize this as vision. Okay. So uh, here we are just starting a timer. If the player is seen, we'll say custom event uh, process vision. So here we will say basically we are just going to continue this call if the player is still in the uh, overlap. That's what we're going to check. So if we are continuously seeing the player, we need to be able to track it, and we'll put a timer here. So if we see the player and the enemy unit is able to see the player continuously for 3 seconds or 5 seconds, we can start an attack, like state change kind of an attack mode, or start the charge or something like that. So I will say um, vision timer, uh, player in view timer. I think that's a fitting name. And we'll say max player in view timer. So these will also go in the vision category, and we will say this for only 5 seconds, and player in view timer. Okay, if it is valid, then we will keep incrementing it plus. Um, so going to put this as 0.1, and we'll just keep adding it, and we will say if it is greater than equal to this one, we will say that um, max timer completed. Max timer completed. Do something. Just that. Okay, this is 5. Yeah. It's also we can add a print statement here. Just after here, I will just say print, and then player in view value. Also make sure to make this visible so at least you can have a look. Um, so if you're away from the cone, like the radius range, max timer is completed, do something, right? and the counter is closed when we step out. Just go back in once more. So it's pretty quick. So we just reduce this to half. Get a bit of time. I think that's also a bit too quick. But if you're running, yeah, all right, cool. So if we are reaching here, right? And basically once we reach here, we will stop this timer because we don't need to see the player anymore. Now we can start the attacking and charge. So that's okay. This all will close out. However, if the player is not in the view, we need to make sure that we reset the value slowly, not immediately. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the same thing. Uh, put a clamp here. Clamp float. 0 and maximum we can pull in from here. We can say this, and we'll say this minus the value. So it never goes below 0. And we can say here if it is less than equal to 0, less than equal to 0, we'll just close this out as what we want to do there as well. Clear and validate, and we can also call this out. Out of view, vision loop event close. All right. So it is begun. Max timer reached. Do something. Right. So you can say player out of view, vision loop close. What I'll do so you get the color codes better, I will just make sure that this gives out kind of a yellow color, and we get the same thing here but with a different color code, so you know the values are decrementing and it is better to understand. So not yellow, maybe something in the red. So yellow growing up, going down, do something, and while running as well. I think by jumping you can. Oh, they can still catch you while jumping. That's good. All right. So in the next video, we'll do kind of an attack thing that when we say that the enemy has seen us, then do something. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.